So you want to be a filmmaker, episode 1, know your onions. This is important, and this is the only place to start. If you're going to do this, and if you're serious about doing it, you have to audit yourself and identify what talents you have, what skills you have, what knowledge you have, and what you're lacking. And once you know what you're lacking, you can start to plug those gaps. Do you know how composition works? Do you know how movement flows across a scene? Do you know how to edit? Do you know how to work a camera? Could you turn one on? Do you know what frame rates are? Do you know about the different regional variations within that? Do you know where the batteries go? Do you know how to charge them? Do you know how to keep your lenses safe? Do you know what each lens does? These are all really basic things that can be taught. And the learned knowledge is important. And I view kind of creative practices as being spread across two types of knowledge. There's learned knowledge, and then there's natural talent. He said, gesturing to himself for some reason. That seems self-serving. That's not what I meant. But you can have an element of natural talent, and you can have someone who does not know whatsoever how to use a camera, but they know how to shoot a scene on a visceral level, on a aesthetic level. On the other hand of that, you can have someone who knows cameras intimately and knows the technology and knows how they work and how to use them, but doesn't necessarily know how to put a scene together, and perhaps needs to have a bit of assistance in that. So you can only rely on either one of those things so much. The sweet spot is, of course, as with all things, in the greys. It's in the middle somewhere. I'm very lucky. I went to university to learn about film. I did it from A level. But I must say, while I was at school, I didn't really focus on the practical. I focused more on the aesthetic and the artistic side of things and the academic side of things, because I didn't take much value from what was being taught in school at the time, particularly because they used a lot of kind of obsolete equipment. I'm not saying don't go to film school or don't go to school. If you can do that, that's great. It's not for everybody. You're looking at a 30 grand debt if you do it, but if you can, or if you're already there, perfect. Like, just listen to your teachers, do all your reading, knuckle down, go get pissed and take drugs, whatever as well. It's up to you. But in terms of school, do it and learn. Not everybody can do that. I found what I personally did was I went to YouTube, really, when I picked up my first DSLR, which I think would have been about 2010 or something like that, 2011, I got my first DSLR. And I got really into DSLR filmmaking YouTube channels, and I got into finding out about how all the different lenses work, how to use a DSLR, and I just went off and practiced. And that entry-level DSLR was a £300 DSLR, and my girlfriend at the time, bless her, gave me, I think, half the money for that, because we were a bit hard up. We were kind of like, poor little 20-something kids living in our cute little house. So she gave me half of that, and I was able to buy that and go practice. I can't state enough, obviously, the practical experience is really important for you. You will need to pick up a camera, know how to use a camera. And it's not just knowing how to use a camera, it's knowing how to use a camera quickly and efficiently. When you're on site, you might have 1, 2, maybe even 3 cameras on you. Personally, I have a special belt, which I'm going to show you my kind of uniform kit when we get to that video, which mounts one camera on my belt and I have another one in my hand. And you're going to be switching between systems, probably different camera systems on the fly. You'll be taking one belt off and putting it on a tripod and running around, stuff like that. So you want to know how it feels in your hand. You want to know really how to use it blind. I mean, I'm at a point with my this camera that I'm using at the moment, I can operate those buttons without looking. I know where the switches and dials are. You can intuit that. So it really is, you can get the formal training, but there is a lot available to you for free. And if you're prepared to spend your spare time on the internet, on YouTube, on Skillshare, if you've got an account, why not? Learning how to do it, read some books. If you have a friend who's into photography, follow them, go with them, speak to them. If you're going into the level of working on DSLR, that's something worth knowing about. If you know a stills photographer, they know their way around the camera. They don't necessarily share your discipline, but they know how to operate these things and what all the different things do, and you can just talk to them. That's what I did. Most of my practical stuff is self-taught. My theoretical stuff is all from school, and it's something that I find very important, something that's very interesting to me as a topic, which is why I share it with you every Thursday and whenever I can. It's something I'm passionate about talking about. But my practical knowledge is self-taught, and my entry into the professional realm was off the back really of kind of self-taught stuff. I got my first camcorder when I was 17 or 18, ran around doing things with that. It's a very limited format, and then I got my DSLR. I did that myself, you know, and you can do that too. You can pick these things up and you can learn. And there are so many channels on YouTube you can go to. And if you want some examples, please let me know, and I can do a video listing off my faves for you there. I think that probably could be a video on its own. Really great resources. And what I've kind of covered there is there is the what you know, but there's the who do you know. So if you've got a friend who's got DSLR, if you know someone in the industry, hey, look, if you're on Patreon, you know me. And okay, I'm not going to probably have time to drive to your house and give you a one-on-one, but if you want to ask, and if maybe we can do a live stream attached to this series and I could talk you through some stuff. You exploit your connections. Exploit's not the best word probably, but exploit your connections. Think about the people you know and how they can help you, and what you can learn together. You know, you've probably got an Instagram account. If you don't have an Instagram account, get an Instagram account and start putting things up, and you'll get immediate feedback from people. You know, I'm not a trained stills photographer. I'm not an experienced stills photographer. I have a stills camera. That's what I'm using to shoot this. So I go out sometimes and I shoot some kind of experimental stuff. I shoot like long exposures and things like that. And you can see that on my Instagram account. And I get feedback from people, and, you know, and I can send it to photographers I know and they'll tell me. So, you know, do exploit your network. I mean, again, if you can afford training, do it. Hey, if you're sat on a bunch of money and you can afford to take 3 years out, or maybe you're young and should I do a film degree? Sure, do it. I mean, when I was doing film, I think there's less of a stigma attached, but the amount of shit I put up with over the years and people sneering at my degree and saying to me that's a useless degree, I heard that time and time again, like sneering pricks, you know. And at the end of the day, I don't think, some of them perhaps didn't mean well. I don't think they're evil or anything, but at the end of the day, I'm doing this as a job and my training was invaluable. But, you know, it's not for everybody. There are shorter courses, there are online courses as well. Another thing to think about is not just, and I touched upon this briefly on the last episode, is that, yeah, you can go to film school and you can go to the internet and you can go to videos and you can go to training courses, but go to films. Like, I know that I'm talking to an audience of people who love and enjoy films and consume films. Like, that's why we're all here. That's why I'm here. It's why you're here. That's what we do on YouTube in our streams. It's what you guys always chat to us about in all the ways you have to chat to us. We're on the same page. And the chances are you, being who you are and being here, know more about film than the average person on the street, right? And I've bet, like, most of you are the person in your group of friends who's the one that knows about movies, right? I'm the bottom line. I'm the tedious bore in my friendship group. Yeah, that's right. People go, that's a boring thing. Jackson will know it. It's great. I won a film quiz the other day over Zoom. Those people never speak to me again. Think about that. Think about what you know. And if you want to go to the films, if you want to go to the films you love, and yeah, it might sound ridiculous to go watch fucking Clockwork Orange if you're going to make a fucking promotional video for a carpet tile company. Why not? Why the fuck not? Maybe putting on a 14mm lens on a full frame camera and having horizon lines and putting Illuminati imagery into that promotional video is going to work for you. I definitely take things I see and put them into corporate vids. I've done like the Edgar Wright kind of emergence thing on a motorized slider and stuff. I've done that before. I've done kind of push-ins and things. You could be copying shots from The Fucking Conversation or Herbie Goes Bananas. It doesn't matter because you've observed the work of a professional and you've applied it to your professional life. There's nothing wrong with that. The very, very, very baseline thing you can do is, again, take stock, take an itinerary of your favourite movies. What were the most effective shots in those films? What were the things that helped tell the story? How did the director block those scenes? If you're shooting interviews, which I've done quite a lot of, it's worth thinking about the fact that if there's a two-person interview, you're doing a shot reverse shot. That's one of the most insanely common techniques in any kind of narrative film, particularly dialogue-based scenes. Why not copy that? Why not look at those? You know, it's not some kind of inscrutable secret that's hidden away in a university somewhere in a book, okay? You consume visual media every single day. We all do. You're doing it fucking now, okay? You're doing it now. This is basically a very similar setup I would have to an interview, okay? So I'd probably be punched in here and my eyeline would be off camera, probably to the interviewer, right? And I'm talking like this. Easy. Okay, you're not going to be shooting a car chase, probably. You're not going to be shooting a helicopter exploding. You're not going to be shooting a xenomorph bursting out of someone's chest. Fine, but you're going to be shooting conversations. You're going to be shooting close-ups. You're going to be shooting wide shots. You're going to be shooting tracking shots. zooms, crashes, jibs, dollies, you know, the basic stuff, it's all there. So, you know, never be afraid to do that. And it's not even film, it could be television, it could be YouTube videos. I mean, I've long since arrived at the point where everything I watch, I'm on some level going to myself, okay, so where's that kick light coming from? Where's the hair light? Is that practical spinning onto that person's face? Just, you know, where are the actors standing? Like, what's the sound mix like? You know, what's the rhythm of the rhythm of these edits? How does that work? How is that done? And that's invaluable, really. I think if you feel you have a level of intuition, then you should watch these movies and see if you can reverse engineer what you're seeing. Why not? Why not? It's all there for you. And that is really important. And that's something that I don't think formal training can give you that necessarily. I do think there's kind of like something natural in that. And again, I think if you're here, if you've come to this point, you probably do that already. You know, it's what we talk about on our videos all the time. We've all arrived here for the same reason. And this is a group of videos made for a very small and specific audience, which is you. So I want to speak to you on that level. I think that's really important. As I said at the beginning, if you already have a set of skills, think about what you're lacking. It's not a negative thing. Don't view this as you bringing yourself down. It's just important. It's just essential. You know, you can't just run into it half cocked. You really need to think about, can I go into commercial work if I don't know this yet? I personally have struggled with sound for a long time. I find it quite difficult, and it's a whole lot of discipline. That's the thing. And when you're a one-man band, as I am, you know, you have to really be on top of this stuff, and sound's so important. I mean, I personally, when I'm out recording interviews and stuff, I do main sound and a backup every time. I would never trust one mic ever. Sometimes I do three if I'm feeling particularly spicy, with like a shotgun mic on top. So that's the thing that I need to learn about. You know, every day is a school day. Every day is a school day, and in a fun way, not in a dreary, awful Pink Floyd The Wall way, or something like that, or Sleepers. It's, you know, there's always something to be learned. And you know what? I don't ever really trust anyone who claims that they know everything. I have a very low tolerance for kind of arrogance, really. And no one likes a cocky bastard, basically. So you do have to be humble, and you do have to sort of look at your own skills and see what's missing. And that's a good thing. Take itinerary, make a list. If you don't know it, learn it. The resources are there, you know. Like I said, I'm a resource. If you're not sure about something, ask me. And if I don't know, I'll ask someone else and pass it on to you. Because, you know, I don't know everything. Not even close. You know, some of the clips I showed last week were from my early career, like some of the first stuff I did. And I was absolutely cringing showing that to you, because I've moved on so much, in my view, since then. Like, I feel like my skills have developed. And I'm a big believer in, you know, learning by doing. And once you're up and running and you've got your kind of skill, your itinerary of skills, and you've looked at some stuff and you're feeling confident, every day's a school day, and every job you go out, you're going to make mistakes, you're going to fuck up. I've had some awfully stressful days where things have gone wrong, sometimes in my control, sometimes not. And those kind of bits of scar tissue, kind of cognitive scar tissue, make you tougher, and you come back stronger, and you'll know what to do next time, and you'll learn from those mistakes, and it's all really, really important. But please, always charge your batteries, always clean your memory cards, and never leave the house without them. The amount of people I know who've left the house without a memory card ready or a battery ready. I am the most over-prepared kit Nazi, so I've always got like fucking 20 batteries and 40 memory cards. But you can make a right prick of yourself if you turn up to a job like that. Another one, this is just a little random bit of advice. There is one thing, my friend Simon refers to it as a point of failure. I'm not sure where he got that from. I think he said, there's one thing I've seen people do that really fucks them over, and this can really ruin your day. Early on in your career, quite often you might be going out with one tripod, one camera, one set of lights, one mic, right? To do that. That's enough to shoot some interviews. Done. You know, single camera interviews, whatever. Imagine you did all of that shit. You packed up your bag, you went to London, and you forgot the plate from the tripod. You have everything else, but no way to put the camera on the tripod. Fucks the whole day, you know. Anyway, I'm getting onto kit next episode. I just sort of went off on one there about things you should and shouldn't do, but do take stock. Take stock of what you want to do and what you know, where you can learn, and who you can speak to. Really important. And if you're getting formal training, great. And if you are getting formal training, milk every bloody drop of blood out of those lecturers, teachers, professionals. Get everything. Get your money's worth. Learn what you can from people who've done it for real. It's totally invaluable. Next week, we're going to talk in episode 2 about kit, what you need, the most basic kit, where you can get it, what it costs, what I had to begin with, and what I have now. Pow.